Oh, and welcome to Jedi and the Mailman, a show where two old friends aim to deliver the best Star Wars talk in the galaxy. I'm Mike the Mailman. That's Jimmy the Jedi. And joining us tonight, it's Tiara.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. How's your summer going?
It's all right. It's
Yeah?
busy. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
enjoy the summer? I hate the summer. I can't stand it. It's too
I
damn
tried to
hot.
go to a lake around here because I've only ever
Uh-huh.
been to one lake in my life and I hated it. It was
Hmm.
disgusting. I felt like I was in sewer water. It was
Well,
terrible.
It is Ohio, right?
Yeah.
damn it, you beat me to it, Mike.
The place where rivers burn.
So,
I went to Lake Erie. That
Yeah.
was it wasn't great. Yeah.
No, it's pretty dirty. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been better and it's been worse. I don't know. It's just a big dirty lake.
man, we already got people jumping over in Instagram. Looks like it might be working tonight because it's actually like filming or recording. The Dadalorian says that the Phantom Menace is the most memorable movie experiences of his life.
Ooh.
Wow.
You elaborate a little bit on that once we get into that. I'd love to hear why. Come visit Florida, TR. You got an invite to go to Florida. If you
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Dadalorian.
I've gone to the beaches there. They're really great.
Are
Lakes,
you
not so much.
are you saying on live television or YouTube that Florida lakes are better than Ohio lakes?
I've never been to a Florida lake. I've been to a Florida beach. Beach and lakes are very different.
Lakes have beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Lakes have beaches? Are you talking about like the
Yeah.
sand? It
Yeah.
was it was so terrible. I don't even consider that real sand. It was disgusting.
You
It
sound
was
like
so
Mike
gross.
talking about Lego people right now.
It was
Oh,
so
please.
gross. It was like rock, like just like rocks mixed in with the sand. It wasn't
Tiny
actual
pebbles.
sand. Yeah.
Steven, I'm sorry, L. Arcombe, awesome film and a chance to relive our childhood. Yeah, absolutely. The Data Lawrence says, LMAO, bro. I live in the Emerald Coast, Destin, Florida, all day.
Wow.
I'll give them
I couldn't do Florida, man. It's hot enough here. I'd die there.
be used to it, though, because it's like that all the time, right?
I've
Yeah.
never
At
gotten
least there's
used to the heat.
beaches and not terrible lakes that you have to go to.
I think they have lakes down there too, and they're full of alligators and stuff.
Well, you have beaches. You have two options. Here you have one
I guess so.
option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty landlocked there.
I sent Tiara pretty funny. Like, I'll send you the photo of the picture of the shirt I found in one of the bookstores at Penn State that I
Okay.
sent immediately to Tiara. I think she loved it. So I'll show it to
Can
you later.
inspire some new designs.
It did. I think that you'll see that on Crafting on Ilum Shop soon.
Nice.
So happy Tuesday, everyone. Skywalker Ryan says beaches are better. See, I'm a lake guy personally.
Yeah.
So
I don't like sand.
Anakin,
I know that's
So edgy.
controversial, but yeah.
especially on a Star Wars show, talking
Yeah.
about. I'm gonna take this banner off because I can't see Mike's beautiful face.
Yeah, it
There
is
you
right
go.
across my
Much
eyeballs.
better. So, all right. Yeah, so we're here to talk about the Phantom Menace eventually after we get through this discussion about sand and beaches versus lakes. I could retire on a lake, a nice lake, not, but anyway, so Tiara, tell people about yourself if they don't know. They should know you at this point if they've watched our show like once
hope
because
so.
you're on
Yeah.
all the time. You're one of
Yeah.
our faves, one of our fave human beings. So tell us what's going on, where they can find you, what you're up to, and then we'll kind of start diving into some of this stuff.
Yeah. So Craftin' on Ilum is my username, and you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and on Threads, as well as YouTube. Currently, ironically, I'm working on my Shmi Skywalker cosplay, so it's nice that we're talking about the Phantom Menace.
Nice.
And then conventions coming up that will be vlogged, and my cosplay whole journey is being documented. That'll be up on my YouTube for Rebel Scum Con, which is where my Shmi Skywalker will be debuted, and of course Jimmy will be there. And
Front
yeah,
row, baby!
I'm very excited.
I'll be the guy in the front
Mike is
row.
excited.
With the banner.
Holding up a sign. Holding up a gas stick. Right? So Tahu's here. Tahu says, I'm of the canoe people. Anywhere I can ride the canoe is good for a Yamore. Oh, you can't argue with him. The guy, I mean, I did see a reference to rugby yesterday, Tahu, and guess who I immediately thought of? The one person I know that loves rugby. That's Tahu. Actually, I know a couple people because we got some friends in Wales that do enjoy rugby. Those guys are way tougher than us, and I bet you they don't mind sand or lakes in Ohio. So here we go. All right. So what else do we got over here? It says still some of the best lightsaber battles and pod race is outstanding. Dadalorian says Florida is American Australian. It's not for the weak. All right. So yeah, it's not for the weak. I've not.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been down there in the summertime. I've only been down there
I've
like
never.
in winter and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But Tiara, how's the? This is the last weather question. I do have to ask this though, like because you were living in Texas when I first met you, right? So how's the weather difference for you? Like being in Ohio, are you like wearing sweaters and stuff all summer long, or?
So I grew up in California, so I like miss the beach and I miss that type of weather. Texas didn't really like it, but here I hate it. It's gloomy all the time. We get like 1 day of sun per week, maybe every 2 weeks. It's humid and there's no beaches, so I hate it.
I can't imagine not liking Ohio.
Yeah, I'm so bummed. All right. Okay. So Sith Happens says, now I'm here. Love you guys. Cass. Got to jump back on after these kids go to bed. The Dadalorian. All right. We'll wait for
All
you,
right,
bud.
buddy.
Wait. So, all right. Like I said, we are here to talk about, we're going to do a prequels rewatch.
Yes.
Mike, it's been a while for you, right?
Yeah. It's been a long time.
We're going to rewatch the prequel. So obviously next week's Attack of the Clones. And of course we'll do Revenge of the Sith, and then on our 1-year anniversary, I guess. Is it really our 1-year anniversary for doing this show?
August 6th last year was our first episode.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So August 5th this year will be our anniversary show.
We're going to rank the Skywalker saga so that I can't go directly with Solo to the number 1 spot. So we'll come up with some rules and reasoning, and then you guys can all jump in with us. But that'll be our next couple of weeks, unless something crazy happens with Star Wars, which is always a good thing. But Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Episode 1, 1999, rated PG, is 2 hours and 16 minutes long. Written, directed by a guy named George Walton Lucas Jr. It cost $115 million to make. It grossed $1 billion worldwide. And just to give you a point of reference, now this is 1999 versus 2015. The Force Awakens cost $447 million. So
wow,
just keep that in mind. But it did make $1 billion worldwide in 1999. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, this was a big event. Natalie Portman was 16 years old when she was in this film. Tiara, how old were you when this film came out?
1 year old. He was 1 year old.
So we're going to really dive into Tiara's memories of going to the theater for this. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Mike, how old were we then? 1999. So we're almost 50 now. It's
half a lifetime ago, man.
Yeah.
We're almost as many years removed from it now as we were old when we were there. So half a lifetime ago. It's freaking crazy.
All right. Yeah, I can remember I was working at Cedar Point in Ohio. Have you been to Cedar Point yet, Tiara?
I haven't. I want to go because
you got to go there when you ride the power tower.
Better.
When you ride the power tower, I want you to know I worked there for a summer. I got yelled at, screamed at, soda thrown on me, but we had a blast.
Fun.
It was a lot of fun. Back in those days, they kept the rides like all boys on one ride, all girls on another ride. And eventually that kind of broke down. And then I saw why they did that. So it made sense later. But we had some fun times in Sandusky, Ohio. I did not run into Tommy Boy, unfortunately. I kept looking for him. But Mike, I guess I know where I was. I know where I was at. I know where I was in my Star Wars journey. It's something that had Mike and I grew up together. We loved Star Wars. We'd watch it. I mean, I would rent my parents would rent a VHS player, VCR and VHSs from Mike's parents. They ran a business. And every time we did it, we had a Star Wars movie. We had, one of the original trilogies. So it was something that was always part of my life. But I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I knew the movie was coming out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I was with Star Wars, and just I was in college, had gotten out of the Army. Mike, where were you?
I was living in Pittsburgh. It was my first year living in Pittsburgh. I got out of the Navy in December of '98. So 1999 was my first year in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
So I remember being excited about it coming out. I remember going on opening night to, I think it was a theater in Shadyside down in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Shadyside.
And yeah, I mean, super excited, a lot of hype. And I mean, Star Wars is back. I mean, kind of like, I mean, for us, when the original trilogies came out, we were like Tiara, 1 year old when the first movies came out.
We were
rather interesting. But yeah, so yeah.
Where Tiara? I mean, what's your earliest memory of the Phantom Menace? I guess then, 'cause, I mean, obviously at 1 year old, you don't like. I remember seeing like Star Wars: A New Hope. I mean, probably was just Star Wars at the time on television and things before I got to see it. So, do you remember like your first glimpses of the Phantom Menace and Little Annie and Space Angels?
Yeah, so my older cousin, he had a lot of Phantom Menace toys, and so he had the Seeker droid that Maul sends out,
Oh,
and it would shoot discs out, like
Nice.
foam discs, and so he had a lot of those types of toys. And then we ended up watching it one day, and like I loved it, so
And
here I
here
am.
you are.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. That's a good story because when I left the theater, I was like, that was
yeah.
fine.
Of course you
So,
did.
yeah. So, I was part of that generation that, I don't know, thought that it looked too new. That was my biggest
Mhm,
complaint. It looked too new and Jar Jar was dumb. Now,
mhm,
understand something. I didn't like Jar Jar. I had no problem with the man who played him, Ahmad Best, and
Mm.
and I've never been one of those fans who blames, you know, I wasn't on that hate train, I guess, especially after seeing him last year at Rebels Comic Con.
mhm.
I'm proud to say that I was never like, oh, Ahmad Best, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just didn't like Jar Jar. So, I liked, trying to think, I liked Darth Maul. Then he got cut in half, and I was like, well, that's dumb. And so, but I don't know, like where were we at? Obviously it was impactful on you, Mike. How did you feel when you
I have a hard time remembering exactly, but I was probably disappointed. I mean, I wasn't the worst movie in the world, but after, growing up with the original trilogy, I think we both, well, most people from our generation expected something
like
phenomenal
that,
when they
like
finally
those
got
movies?
around to making it. And, watching the Phantom Menace for the first time in the theater, I just wasn't what I had imagined. Wasn't what I thought the next Star Wars was going to be. I don't like you said, you didn't enjoy Jar Jar. I don't remember if I liked Jar Jar or not. I mean, there are some funny moments with Jar Jar. I don't like, even now. I don't have any problem with Jar Jar, especially after watching Clone Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's a fun
Well, that's
character. But yeah, but
now with
yeah, but I can't. I don't know. I don't remember. I just don't remember enough about it. Like it wasn't impactful like the way
that's what I was
that
gonna
the
say.
original trilogy was for us. Like,
Okay.
whether it was my age, whether it was the movie, whatever it was, it didn't hit me the way that you know Return of the Jedi did back in
Yeah.
the 80s.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So do we have a favorite character that stems from this? So like, we're going to do some general questions and we're going to kind of talk about our journey through it. And then of course we just had to, was that re-release last year? Was that last summer? I
Mhm.
can't remember.
I think
So then
so.
we can
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
talk
last year, the
about,
25th.
yeah, we can kind of talk
Mhm.
about where we're at now with it, and our journeys getting there. And then I have some fun facts, I think, we can talk about. But do we have like a favorite character? Is there someone that really like stands out, performance wise? Like, even though like Mike, you and I both were like, well, that was fine. Tiara, and you were younger. So, like what character or characters, it can be more than one. I mean, I know it's always hard to like pinpoint one person, but what really stood out to you from the film as far as character wise?
Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon has always been a really big character for me, and, like, in my perspective, as I'm older now, I feel like The Phantom Menace is really his story, like, the end of his story, because we see a lot of it through his point of view, and I was rewatching it yesterday, actually, because I was trying to pause it for Shmi's cosplay to, like, look at details, when I was watching it and I realized that they have the camera on him, like, a lot, like, every point of dialogue, like, it's very centered on his reactions, and so, yeah, anyways, Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon is definitely my favorite
All
from
right.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I got his quote tattooed right there. Your
Nice.
focus determines your reality. I love that
Yeah.
one. It's got me through some hard times. Yeah, that's a good point. I guess maybe I never noticed that. I mean, I knew it was kind of like his jam, and he was kind of the biggest actor in this film.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I kind of get that. But yeah, you think about it, and when I think about the Phantom Menace, I'm like, oh, this is Qui-Gon's film, but you might be onto something there. Actually, like that makes sense because it really is kind of. I mean, what we get from him. I mean, it is really kind of centered around him and what happens. Because I mean, we can talk about this a little bit later, but like he lives. We don't get the prequel. We don't get the original trilogy. Like if this is really happening, so that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. I like that. Mike, what about you? What standouts?
I mean, character wise, like Qui-Gon is great. I mean, he, except the main Jedi in the series. So yeah, he's great. But I would say like the best character from my point of view was Maul. And like you said earlier, we were cheated. Like such a cool design, such an awesome character. We should have had a lot more of him. Like it, and we do get more of him down the line with
We didn't know that
Rebels,
at the
and
time, though.
we
So,
didn't
like,
at the time. No, at the time it's like you designed this guy, like such a cool looking, like evil devil looking Sith character, and in the first, like he had what, maybe 5 minutes of screen time in the whole movie, and he's gone. Like it was a little bit disappointing, but yeah, I think he was the biggest standout for me.
all right. Tayo says opening night in Sydney. He wins. He was in Sydney,
Yep.
Australia. He says, been such a massive movie premiere since before Spice World. Oh my
Wow.
god! I don't think I've ever seen Spice World. I
Nor
wasn't a
have I.
Spice Girls guy, I
No,
guess.
I don't think we were in that demographic.
Tiara, have you seen Spice World? Do you like the Spice Girls?
No.
No, she's like, nope.
No.
She doesn't like beaches in Ohio or the Spice Girls.
Not
Dang.
beaches! They are knockoff beaches slash lakes. They're terrible.
Nice. Oh my
Some
gosh.
people never leave Ohio. That's all they have.
I know, which is wild. It's so crazy to me.
Yeah, you have like a lot of experience. I mean, life experiences and stuff, like having lived in some different places and stuff like that. Well, more than most people your age, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
I
is kind
tell
of weird.
everybody,
People don't
every
leave.
young person I come across, I tell, like, travel. Don't settle down. Don't. This isn't the place. Go see the world.
This isn't the place. Get out of here.
Yes.
This is not where you want to be.
Right.
Our hometown. Ouch. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of like when I watch the movie. I mean, I know who stands out for me now, and that Qui-Gon. Obviously, I've got him tattooed on my arm, and I'm trying to think back because I remember one of the guys I worked with at the power tower, and he was obsessed with Maul, and I used to make fun of him all the time. Like, got a little cocky, got a little cut in half, and I just kept saying that to him every time he'd bring him up. I'm like, dude's dead. Move on with your life. So little did I know.
Now.
Yeah. Little did I know he's gonna get some spider legs and be brought back from the dead because of his hate. So but I'm trying to think. I mean, because Kenobi's not really that big of a part until the very end.
No.
Wasn't a huge fan of Jar Jar. So maybe it was Qui-Gon. I was kind of bummed when he got stabbed through the and died, unlike everybody else in Star Wars lately. But
Did you think Padme was cool, or were you on that
I
train
was
where you hated the
I was
dialogue and
about to
hated
jump
how
in with that
stoic they
too.
were?
I had no issues with Padme. Like I thought. I mean, that mystery is kind of cool because the first time you watch it, like you didn't know That was her,
Yeah.
and I was, I mean, I put that right up there with like Emphas Nest taking off her helmet, and I'm just like, holy, what? Like, no way! Like that was crazy, you know. And then, so yeah, I had zero problems with her character. I was suspicious, if I'm being honest. Like that's just how I am with movies. I'm always trying to figure them out before they happen. But I don't remember like nailing that. But I thought that was pretty cool. I had no problems with her. People had problems with Padme, like.
Yeah, they
I
didn't
can't
like
see.
how I've seen reels of people who are like, "I hated how they, like, spoke," but, like, that was intentional. It
Yeah, that
was for
was.
them to be decoys, but, like, they I don't know, they didn't like it at the time.
See, that's the thing is people, and I think that's the biggest problem with Star Wars fans is like, don't give things time to be explained.
Mm.
And the thing that pops into my head, sort of like what you said, was the cortosis on Chimaera's helmet. People might, you remember people losing their damn minds.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't exist, and then they're like, well, here it is, like this in
Right.
canon, you know.
Yeah.
And that took like 2 minutes after the show for people to start blowing up, you know, Instagram and Twitter and stuff to be like explaining it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure unless you really thought about the movie, and I don't think people, like, times have changed a lot since 1999. Like, I mean, I wasn't thinking about movies as in depth and breaking them down the way we do now. I don't think 75 to 85% of the people that watch movies put a lot of time thinking about why does Padme sound like a robot. You know, it makes sense because yes, there's all the decoys. You can never tell who the queen is. I mean, that but we didn't know that. That was part of the society until, I mean, I don't even know when the first time we would have found out as fans. You know, like we got those books, The Queen's Shadows, that whole
Queen's
series.
Shadow, Queen's Peril, by
Yeah.
Claudia Gray.
I tried to get into those, but all the names are so similar. I got so confused. So I need to revisit it. I need to read it and not listen to it. But yeah, I mean, Mike, did you have any issues with Padme? Like, I don't think that bothered me, but I can see in 1999, like, why people, I mean, we just didn't have the access to the information we have today.
Yeah.
No,
the more we talk about it here, just as we're talking about characters, it just popped into my head. Padme, like, honestly, as 16-year-old, she's probably the best actor. She gives the best performance in the whole thing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Like, I have no problem. I knew from the start, like, that when she's acting as the queen, that different affectation, it's intentional. Like, she's
Mike's
not
so
talking
smart.
that way because it's,
it's not just a
but
pretty
I don't think, at the time, I don't think I had any problem with it, and I certainly don't have any problem with it now. I mean, she's great.
Yeah, it's a shame that they kind of, like, that relationship between her and Lucas deteriorated to the point where she kind of got removed from the movies as far as like having the parts that she should have really had. And I mean, I feel like
I'm still bitter about her ending.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. So, hey, Steve, Jedi Jarvo's back. Hello there. When you mentioned Qui-Gon's quote, it was awesome that Jude Law as Jod in Skeleton Crew used his faith. Hope determines to reality. Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool moment. That I thought that show was awesome. This one of the things that really pops in there. But yeah, that quote, I love it, man. And I tell you, I put that on my arm when I was going through. It's actually going through my divorce and stuff like that, and having a rough time. And I just remembered, like, my life is what I make it, basically. And I just kind of needed a reminder, so I got that tattooed on my arm. And so it'll be there, and it's always there to remind me too. So thanks, Qui-Gon Jinn, for that.
He dropped a lot of pearls of wisdom in the Phantom Menace. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. His character. We should do a whole show on Qui-Gon because I've been breaking down those Jedi Knight comics, and every time he's in one, there's like more goodness from him. Master and Apprentice, more goodness. Like,
so good.
Anytime that he's in a book, The Living Force, he was in that. I mean, there's little bits of wisdom. People that write him get, like, this is the guy that saw things a little bit differently. It was the first time we heard about midichlorians. We should talk about
People hated that too.
That was pretty awful.
Yeah, I'm still not a huge fan of, like, putting a, like, you have.
It didn't need to be explained.
Like a metric on it.
Yeah, because then that like that kind of pigeonholes you. I mean, I know they've never used it again. I mean, I guess they did it with Grogu. I think they talked about his midichlorian rate or something, or his M count.
Yeah, and Bad Batch they talk about Omega's M count.
That's what it was. Okay, I was thinking it was in like one of the Mando series, but
I'm okay with it being out there, but like that whole exposition of what midichlorians are and like the whole explanation, it was just stilted and awful. That could have certainly been cut.
So you don't have an
I
issue
don't mind
with
it.
You don't have an issue with midichlorians. You just didn't like the way it
No.
was like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It didn't need to be explained so thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? Like if it is a microscopic organism that, gives people the force, fine, whatever. But like, I don't know, just that whole scene as he went through is just too much exposition. It could have been, simpler.
I feel like it was purposeful to like show like the gravity of like the specialness of Anakin. I don't think it was like to like pigeonhole, but I can see why people took it that way. But I think it was just meant to show like this is like a really special being, and then later on we get all the further information as to why he's so special.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Kind of like a little breadcrumb for us. It really upset a lot of like traditional fans.
Yeah.
Because coming from our point of view, like I like that. And that makes total sense to me that yes, it shows like, because I mean, I think Kenobi, what does Kenobi say? It's even more than Master Yoda.
Right. Yeah.
Like trying to build up like Anakin's something special.
Yeah.
But it just was weird because it was like, it felt like it took away something as far as like you could be as good as you wanted to be. Like nothing could limit you.
Right.
Like, and that's kind of where for me, I was like, oh, like kind of bummed with it in that aspect. But it makes a ton of sense driving the movie forward and really selling Anakin as the chosen one. Steve say here, he says, your focus determines your reality. Sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're all right, man. I get it. But yeah. So we got midichlorians. I'm trying to think, do we have a favorite scene from this then? So like, we know it's not the midichlorian scene for Mike. What do we got for favorite scenes? I know we have people on Instagram saying that they love the lightsaber battles. Steven says it's the best lightsaber battle still. So
yeah, I'd have to. That would probably for me. That probably would be the best scene. Like I watched this again this week, obviously in preparation for this, and I still don't really like the movie. It doesn't. There's just no. It doesn't give me the feels. You know what I mean? It's not exciting.
Mike said inside everyone news at 11.
I watched. He hates everything.
I saw 2 movies this week, and I'm not here to be hateful. The movie's fine, and people love it, and I can understand why. But I mean, there's probably movies that I love that people are like, "What the heck?" But anyways, I saw 2 movies this weekend. I saw Superman, and I watched this again. And Superman, I felt things. Jimmy, I'm sure you did too. Like when the opening scene when Crypto comes and saves Superman.
Oh my god!
If you love dogs, there's no way you didn't get choked up at that point. Like Crypto's such a good dog. But there are many. That's what I'm looking for in a movie is to feel something. And there's many times in Superman that I felt things. There's very few times in this movie that I felt things. But let's stay positive.
I mean you shouldn't. You are being. I mean, you're being honest. Like, I don't think. But you're not being an a-hole about it. So it's fine. Like, you don't have to like everything.
Right. Right. So, but I would say
that's actually a really good point. Like I'm trying to think of like if I got the feels at all when I watched it the first time. Now I know when I went back to the theater last year, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But I mean, I was like emotional. But it was kind of more about me than it was the movie. So like my journey. But I don't know.
Well, I know too. Like I even tried when I get bored at a movie. Of course, like anybody else, you go to your phone and you pick up your phone and blah blah blah. I tried because we're doing this. I want to take it seriously. Yeah, I tried to not touch the phone, stay engaged in the movie, and really get it, really take it in. And there were definitely things, and we'll get into it as we go along here. There were definitely things that I found that I liked more now And there was tons of Easter eggs and stuff like that that I would have never caught back in '99, because once you see the Clone Wars, there's all these side characters and stuff that are in there, like, oh my god, that's Aurra Sing, things you never would have known back then. So there was that for me, but there still was nothing that really, got me choked up. Even like when Anakin's is leaving, like he's being taken from his mother, and that should have been a powerful scene that like brought you to tears, but I didn't feel anything, unfortunately.
Mike is dead inside, everyone.
I'm not that inside.
How do you not feel anything in that scene? Oh my gosh.
Made me cry.
Oh my goodness. So do you have a favorite scene, Mike? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, or do you just you just
No,
hate
I would
all
go
of it?
with probably the scene that I could say like jumps to the top of my head that I could say that I'm most excited about is the lightsaber battle. And it's not even the crossing of sabers and how cool the acrobatics are and stuff like that. It's one specific part when there's laser door, the blast, the electronic shielding closes and they're all separated, and Anakin's just antsy as can be to get through, and Qui-Gon and Maul's fuming, and Qui-Gon just sits down and meditates. That right now I don't think
he's got. Do you have an emotion?
I got the feels now because I'm hyping it up myself.
He has the feels.
But yeah, that was
dead inside. He's got 1 minute chlorine.
That was a really good scene. I really enjoy that scene, and it says a lot about Qui-Gon. It says a lot about Maul, and it says a lot about Obi-Wan. The stages of where they're at and things like that, and it's just so cool how he sits down and meditates, and as soon as it click click click, back up, lightsaber out, and battling again. That's great scene.
Yeah. Tahu, it was to me the first time. I think it was. I mean, how would you have known? I mean, especially if you're a kid, there's no way kids would have saw it coming. I can see adults, but all right. So Mike does have a feeling.
Yes.
He's not dead inside. Did you know Superman wants to be X-Wing pilot? That's pretty big news right now.
Oh, is it?
He just he took a polygraph test, and one of the questions: would you rather be Superman in a sequel or in a Star Wars movie, or like play a Jedi in a Star Wars movie? And he's like, yeah, I want to be in a Star Wars movie. But then there's all these like different things of him talking about Star Wars and all these different interviews. Like the guy knows it too. Like it's pretty cool. So, and he kind of won me over as the new Superman. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel, but anyways, Tiara, how favorite? I mean, I know you're not dead inside because you got all that rage towards beaches in Ohio. So we got some emotions. We don't know how they're geared, but favorite scenes, and you can have more than one.
Yeah, I mean, several. I love the pod racing stuff. That always gave me chills as a kid. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was super cool. I have feelings when Anakin is leaving Shmi. Okay, I get sad. The music makes me sad. Qui-Gon's funeral, even though like when I was a kid, I didn't really, there wasn't much of a backstory for him, but like that still made me sad. Like I understood that he was Obi-Wan's master and they had like a close relationship, etc. So that made me sad. I don't know, other stuff. I really like the underwater scenes with the Gungan with the like underwater ship. I thought that was really cool.
Bongo, I think it's called, right? Bongo or something.
So yeah, I mean several
There's always
scenes.
a bigger
I like
fish.
the Phantom Menace. Yes, exactly. See, there's like so many quotes too. None of that makes you feel anything. Got it.
He's getting roasted tonight, folks.
It's all right.
So, no, yeah, I think there are good scenes in it. I mean, Mike, you kind of that one to me, and again, like it's hard for me to remember, seeing it the first time. And then, of course, as we've done all these things and when we've deep dived into stuff, and Star Wars has been such a, important part of our lives. And then it's a bigger part of our lives when we're doing all this stuff. But I think you're right, though. Like that scene where he takes, I mean, this shows you difference between the dark side and the light side. And like you said, like Obi-Wan.
Master and Apprentice.
Master and Apprentice. Like he's still real antsy. He wants to get up there. And I think that's powerful. I'm trying to remember, though, if like I got anything from that when I watched it the first time or, early on when I was in my prequel hating phase. Um,
Yeah.
and I was like,
I
oh,
was in my early 20s. I didn't feel anything then, I'm sure. I just
yeah.
would have just been a cool lightsaber battle then. But
I think pod racing scene, I think that's pretty phenomenal, especially the sound. Like the sound itself,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you hear that dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun dun dun. You know, you
yeah.
hear that and just like, ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
So
That's one thing that grew on me here is I don't know about the first time I saw it, but I know in subsequent watchings, I'd never liked the pod racing when first off. But
Mike
in
is
this,
tearing
like I always thought it was a waste of time. It just was annoying to me. But in this when I watched it the other day, the I saw what other people see in the pod race. Like it was cool, and I did enjoy it a lot more than I did.
So
That's
is this like
one
the first time that you've
first
Uh-oh.
time I've watched it in
watched it in
years for
like
sure.
years, like
Yeah,
decades?
I don't know about
Wow.
decades.
Okay.
I'm sure I've seen it, bits and pieces here and there, but I don't think it. I was maybe a decade, maybe it might have been that long since I've sat down and watched the whole thing. But
Mike does
that's
not
like
rewatch things very often.
not very often.
Huh.
No,
So like it's
there's
like
so
on to the
much to
next.
see. But yeah, that's one thing I can definitely point out for sure that I remember how I felt about it previously, and my feelings have certainly changed on that.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's a good point, Steve. I'm gonna bring up music here in a minute. Um, and I think part of that scene is Duel of the Fates, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. There was something else that when I was thinking about these questions, like, oh yeah, that'll be good. And now I cannot remember what it is. But yeah, I like the pod racing. I like the big action scenes. For me, really hit. I know pretty much the first time. There's a lot of different things now, but. Is there anything I'm afraid to ask this question now because Mike will just take up the next 23 minutes and we'll be done. But is there anything that you didn't really like? And we can kind of start that transition to like where we're at now with it versus, like where we were, where we are now. Is there anything that like you're just like, oh, like, even then now it kind of sticks with you, like just didn't work for you. Mike has a laundry list. Mike, pick your top three.
Yeah.
So
Just
Tiara,
pick one.
we'll start with you, Tiara. Is there anything that like just because you're pretty positive about this film, which is great. Is there anything that just like, oh, that just doesn't work for me, or I mean, you know,
Well, I mean, like I'm blessed to have so much Star Wars content to be able to, delve into at a younger age. But when I was younger, I didn't really like the Senate scenes because I didn't really understand like what was happening, so I
mm,
just kind of thought it was boring. But I did like another really great scene that I love is when they first get introduced to the Jedi Council because 4 through 6 we don't see like the Jedi Council, and that's the very first time that we're introduced to that. So I really love that. But yeah, the Senate stuff was boring to me because it was just politics, and I didn't get it as a kid. But now I'm at like more like I hate it more so because I see Palpatine being like little snake in Padme's ear and Jar Jar Binks and stuff like that. So yeah, but I mean, I don't have any like nitpicks with this movie,
okay.
more so because like I just feel like it's more for not for kids, but it's just on more of like the hopeful tone. So there's not a whole lot of like complexity yet because we're like it's the introduction to everyone's story in
Mm,
the Skywalker
yeah, I
saga.
think. Yeah, I think you just draw. Yeah, it was the Jedi count. Like seeing more Jedi for me
Mhm.
was key. Like I was like, oh, but of course it was kind of weird because like Yaddle looked weird, and Oprah insists, he didn't know any of these characters, he didn't know any backstories. It was just like 12 people sitting around a thing, and
Yeah.
but let me see what Steve says. I love the scene when Anakin says, "Now this is pod racing." Yes, pod racing is amazing. I remember playing it on Lego Star Wars on PS2 back in the day. I've been trying to find it I know they remastered it or something. I want to play it. I never, it was really my age. And then Tahu says, was the pod racing a necessity so we can see Anakin behind the wheel and then later behind the wheel of a yellow spaceship? Possibly. It's a
Yeah.
very long scene to set that up, but yeah. I mean, how long is that pod? I've never timed it, but it's got to be like 20 minutes. It feels like a really long time.
I
it
don't think
it
it's
Not
did.
20.
20
It's not
minutes.
20 minutes. But
When I was younger, it did feel like 20 minutes. This last time, it like I said, it didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel so much of a waste of time. I enjoyed it more. And to Tahu's point, I think that makes a lot of sense because if you're gonna have Anakin jump in the N1 starfighter and or whatever, then and destroy the ship at some point, it makes more sense that if you see him in the pod, he can actually.
Mhm.
He has that ability. And then,
Yeah.
of course, Qui-Gon says, he has Jedi reflexes and things or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
According to Google AI, which has got to be accurate.
Oh yeah.
Pod race
AI
scene in
never makes
Star
things
Wars: The
up.
Phantom Menace is a little over 15 minutes long. It's major
Oh,
action
wow.
sequence within the 136 minutes.
Wait, but when does it start? What is the starting point? Because is it including like the flag parade and like all that
Right.
stuff, like the announcements?
Let's go down to the next
I don't
article,
consider that.
slashfilms.com.
Alright.
Mike, talk about the scenes that. Just talk about one scene.
Well,
Everything you don't
Okay.
like, go.
I know you're expecting me to have a laundry list of things that I don't like, but honestly, there is nothing like that. There's nothing that I can. I mean, other than I talked about the midichlorian scene earlier, how it didn't quite
Mhm.
hit right with me. I didn't think it needed to be that long or that in depth about. I get the point that you want to, say that Anakin is special and he does have a higher M count, but I think they went a little overboard there. That's all. But really, I can't say that there's any scenes that I really just like hated. It's more that just the movie just didn't move me like I wanted to be moved by a Star Wars movie. That's really it. Um, I don't want to say it was boring, but it just I don't know. It just doesn't affect me the way that other movies have. It doesn't move me the way that I want to be moved by a movie. It didn't connect. It just wasn't. I don't know. Wasn't my movie.
Yeah. Did anyone else think that Boonta Eve was the day before Boonta? Yeah. 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 I would be. Is there like it says Boonta Eve? Like, is that? I mean, do we know what that's from? I have that big racing poster behind me. I don't think it says anything on there. Just Boonta Eve race. One of my students gave that to me.
It would be interesting to know because it could be the Boonta Eve race, and tomorrow, like the next day, is Boonta, and it's some like Christmas on Tatooine.
Yeah. Everything I'm finding says it's like 15 minutes, but it's not telling me when it starts. So what I'll do is I'll go, Tiara, where would you say that it starts? So that when I time this later, and I can send you facts, hardcore facts.
When
When
it
they
counts
fire up the
down,
pods.
when the thing that
Beep,
the light,
beep,
the
beep.
green,
Okay.
yeah,
And then,
the green lights, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
From
I
that
That's the
to
start
the
of a
end.
race.
I'm
Yeah.
writing this down. I'm just asking. I want to know. So here we go. And then it ends, of course, when he crosses the.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna check that scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time pod race.
Giving him homework this time around.
It's all right. Yeah, I've been doing homework all dang day. That's why I'm in such a good mood. I've been doing this master's course, but it's on Ted Lasso, like leadership styles of Ted Lasso. So it's been
Oh,
a
nice.
blast. Like if you've
Yeah.
never watched Ted Lasso, folks, you should watch it, but you shouldn't watch it because you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to be as good of a person as Ted Lasso. So it's a struggle.
Amazing. This counts for college credit, man.
Yeah, it's nuts. I will tell you, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of writing,
Yeah.
and a lot of listening to people who are not dynamic speakers talking about leadership.
Ooh.
It was kind of fun. I got to watch like Oprah the other day, Lou Holtz, Jimmy V's big speech. Like, so there is some good stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember this or whatever.
Yeah.
But we have a real scoundrel in the
Yeah.
thing. Jackie Boy. Jake Lloyd played amazing as young Anakin. Yeah, I thought he was good too. That scene's a little weird. I think that kid. I mean, that poor kid, Jake Lloyd. So I'm trying to think.
That was another thing, though. Like getting back to Jake Lloyd, that's another thing where people really criticized that he was just terrible. Like said terrible, terrible things about the young man, and that's another thing that I was looking at intently when I was rewatching it. And honestly, they gave him some bad lines to work with at points, but honestly, some of his acting was really good for a child. I mean, honestly, really good. I think where it fell flat was due to the writers and not to him, honestly.
George's dialogue. I mean, that's famous. You
Mhm.
know, I want to see something real quick.
I mean, he was a kid playing a kid, so I don't
Yeah.
understand what the issue was. I
Right.
understand, but like it wasn't just his dialogue either. It was all the dialogue that was quote unquote cringy. So I don't understand why like people were being singled out like that. But
Yeah.
Are you an angel?
That was pretty cringy.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
I mean, as a 9-year-old, I mean, because okay, he was the Phantom Menace.
Okay, coming from you, it was cringy. Coming from Jake Lloyd, it was fine.
Oh, boo. I'm taking down Jack's nice thing. He says you looked amazing as always. I'm taking it down now, so that because you just said mean things about me. So,
I already acknowledged it. It's fine.
right.
Me and Jack have an understanding.
All right. He was 9 years old when he was playing the character. I'm assuming that's how old. I don't know if they said how old he was in the movie at the time, but yeah, I mean, I thought he was fine. I think the dialogue. We're going to get into a lot of dialogue issues next week.
Oh yeah.
So, but
although I'm interested next week because what was when we were doing the sequel trilogy, I think it was, or no, it was when we did our Valentine's Day episode. Charlie put the Anakin's dialogue in Attack of the Clones in perspective for us. So I'm interested when we watch this, having that perspective, if it works better for me,
Yeah, because we kind of got schooled by Sydney and Jessica too, I think, about it a little bit, if I remember correctly. Or maybe that was The Last Jedi. I can't remember. They all kind of start to blur. I know that we've gotten like different takes on these movies that we may not be huge fans of. So yeah, it will be interesting to see like when we watch it again next week, how we feel about it, given the viewpoint of like, yeah, this is a 19-year-old kid. Like, remember when you were 19 trying to talk to girls?
Are you smooth?
Really stupid
if you have
in my mind, I was as smooth as butter. I was smooth as a gravel road back in the day. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of scenes. I mean, there's some stuff with like Jar Jar that like I'm like I get it. It annoyed me when I saw it the first time. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like the tongue grab thing and stuff like that. And I get it though. It's for kids. It wasn't for a 25-year-old or whatever I was at the time. So I had to let that go. I don't mind it so much. I just still don't like Jar Jar a whole ton. But there's nothing. I'm trying to think if there's. I do wonder why we never seen Force running since that scene. Like they just poof, they take off, and then we never ever see that again in any Star Wars. So maybe that bothers me a little bit, but I don't know. Nothing that's really like, excuse me, like get this off this movie. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, 9 or 10. I looked it up. I mean, Google AI, as much as we can trust that, it just takes it from.
He was too old to train as a Jedi. We know that.
I thought he was 11. That's what
it says. He was born March 5th, 1989. This movie came out in 99. So he probably was 8 whenever he was filming this too. And I mean, I got a little
7 even.
My nephew was 8 years old, and I mean, he's cute as a button, but like, I can't imagine him delivering lines better than Jake Floyd did.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't have done it. Obviously I can't do it now according to Tiara. So that's mean. I'm going to boo you when I'm in the front row, Tiara. Boo. So.
Your hate fuels me.
I'm about Anakin, not Jake. Sorry if that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, 9 or 10. Yeah, I think you're right. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about the music. For me, music wasn't something like that really meant a lot to me until like later. I will say that like last year, Ahsoka's end credits scene was my number one listened song. I just loved it. And music has changed a lot for me as I've gotten older. I'm not real talented in music wise. So maybe that was where I was never drawn to it, and no life experiences. But then as you know, you get older and life experiences and stuff. Eventually, Tiara, you'll get some of those. And
already there, promise.
Yeah, I Duel of the Fates. I mean, I don't know if that might be the best song in Star Wars. I mean, I don't know. Like,
good
for me. Like it's really good. So I can't tell you like a lot of the music other than that one. That one just stands out as being pretty amazing to me. But Tiara, what about you? I mean, how do you feel about the music
in the Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
Or like Yeah,
Well,
I
and
mean,
you can talk about in general too. Like, where are you at with music? Like now, like you sit there when you're making your Shmi Skywalker. Are you listening to the soundtracks of these, or I mean, is that something that you do, or I don't know?
well, yeah, I have a lot of songs from many Star Wars shows, movies, all that stuff. But specifically when Shmi is saying bye to Anakin, it's like a mix of both their songs. Like there's the Shmi song and then Anakin song, and it mixes together when he's saying goodbye. And I think it's a really beautiful melody in that moment. Duel of Fates is also very good. I like the music that's playing at Qui-Gon's funeral. I'm pretty sure it's titled Qui-Gon's Funeral.
Yeah, they
So
released that before the movie came out too.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I heard that about that. So yeah, I mean those songs are really good. And then obviously there's a lot of stuff from other shows like Andor that just came out had amazing music. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know. Like, it was never for me. That's just a recent, like, the last 3 or 4 years where I've really gotten like when I'm doing work or I'm doing those classes, like I talked about. I've got like Kevin Kiner was my number one artist 2 years ago, I think. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm kind of into it. Mike, what about you? Where are you at? Are you listening to Duel of the Fates when you're running around sweating to death, delivering
No,
mail and the
no,
blistering
not really.
hot sun?
But I mean, the music in Star Wars is almost always on point. I mean, you notice it when it's wrong or when it's bad, but in Star Wars, that's never been the case for me. I mean, it's always well mastered, and just they pick the right things. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I get it. I get it. With I work out. Jack says he works out with the Star Wars soundtrack. That seems a little intense. That's our
If
Jack.
you use the treadmill to the separatist attack with the marching song for the clones, it really helps. So
All
you
right,
should
I'll
do
have to
that.
try that out.
Yeah.
I love the song at the end of the celebration scene. Oh yeah, I like
Yeah.
good one. The
What?
remixes. Okay, I don't know exactly. Maybe he's working out right now and is confused. So, all right. So, where do we stand now? So we've got, we've talked about the music, we've talked about our favorite scenes, our least favorite scenes, our favorite characters. Where do we stand now? Um, I mean, this has always been a part of your life, Tiara. Like, you've never been, it's like Star Wars. Well, almost for us. I mean, we were one, and same thing for you, though. So, like, does it mean more to you now? Obviously, you're a creator. You're doing these things. I mean, Shmi means something to you because you're doing. I know you do these cosplays that mean stuff to you. So, where are you at now with like the Phantom Menace? Like emotionally and like is it more important to you now than it was, kind of thing, or was it always it's always been important, you've always loved it, and that's that?
Yeah, I mean, the prequels are what I rewatch constantly more so than the original trilogy or the sequels. The Phantom Menace, like I said, is more of like a hopeful one. So when I'm feeling down, like maybe I'll throw that on. Um, but I mean, I had my period of time too. Like it wasn't cool to be a Star Wars fan in high school for me, so I wasn't like flaunting it around. But being able to see it in the movie theaters, like for the first time, because I wasn't, old enough to do so, that was really cool to see last year, to be able to see it in the movie theaters and like hear the pod racing sounds
Oh my
on,
gosh.
the theater speakers. So it definitely like reignited my love for it, even though it never really left. And yeah, like Shmi, I think she's an underrated character. And I love all of the stuff about her and Legends. And like I think it's in the Queen's Peril, there's a lot more backstory because we see different perspectives when they're on Tatooine. Like Padme talks with her, and so you should definitely read that book because it's really great. But yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. Let me see here. We got a bunch of people, most of them Jack. He says listen to Leroy Rogers' remixes, and congratulations to Leroy, he just got married. But yeah, he's the guy, he's one of the DJs at Celebration. He's done a really cool remix of it, so you should check him out. He says favorite pod racer. Okay, do we have a favorite? I don't even know if I know. Can I say Anakin? Is that fair?
It has to be. He
Does
won,
he
right?
win? I mean,
Yeah.
Ben
Some of
Quadraneros.
those other guys might be dead.
Well, I think a lot of them are, aren't they? I mean, you
Ben
Rex
isn't.
going like a couple
He
hundred
just
miles. I mean,
he just spun out, so
yeah. So, you got a favorite pod racer?
me?
Anyone?
Yeah,
Oh. Probably Ben, because
Ben.
he's so weird looking. Yeah.
he is
Weird
weird
look.
looking.
All right, we're gonna go with Ben. So what we see. Tahu says Phantom Menace was a cultural reset. Yeah, I mean, it did kind of start things. It made it okay. Well, I guess I wasn't in high school, so I don't know. It wasn't cool to be a Star Wars fan when we were in high school either, but now it's like you can do it. Let me see where we're at here. Favorite collectible. Do we have any, Mike? I know you don't have collectibles. Like you don't. Do you have anything, Tiara, that's like Phantom Menace specific that you love?
I have this doll. I have the Queen Amidala doll right here.
Nice.
I do think the collapsible lightsabers came out with Phantom Menace. I think those were awesome. Like my kids had those things. That, like when we were kids, there was nothing like that. You could if you wanted to play with a lightsaber, you had to go find a stick in the woods and say, "This is my lightsaber." To have to have a plastic hilt with you could whip out there and it would extend. That was really cool. So yeah, that would be. Right, yeah. I don't have one anymore. I broke all the ones we had, but
oh man, the dark side, Mike. The dark side, my man. Gotta learn to control that anger. That anger is the path that I don't have anything.
Change it into red.
I don't have anything specifically from the movie, but I have the Qui-Gon. I had the Funko Pop of the Duel of the Fates battle. And that's pretty cool. It's one of the few Funko Pops that I have out of the boxes. So I put all three of those pieces together, and then I have this really cool. And then I have this really cool poster of Jabba the Hutt presents pod racing. I don't know if you guys can see it. You kind of see it over the corner of my shoulder there. I had a student give that to me. He found it. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I have a ton of, I don't know. So good stuff. I don't have anything, I think, from the film. I do have stuff from the Revenge of the Sith, I think. Thanks to my Aunt Amy, who just gave me still in the packaging from Burger King. So that's pretty awesome. Favorite scene. We did favorite scene. Everyone's thoughts on Jar Jar. Yeah, we kind of talked about that a little bit, Steve. Mike and I are both kind of like, eh. And Tiara, you don't mind him because you were a kid when it came out. So you probably like, yeah this guy's awesome. He's cool. Right?
I mean, I met him last year at Rebel Scum Con because I really liked
the man that play. I was blown away by Ahmad Best. Like
his panels were fantastic.
I didn't expect to be so like emotionally moved by some of the stuff we talked about. And I mean, I knew his backstory, and he'd been on, he'd come out during like COVID and talked a lot about it, because I know he's on different podcasts and things like that, Star Wars sessions. I think it's the first time I heard him speak about it. And but yeah, I was not expecting was blown away by the man as I was. It makes me feel a little guilty for not liking his character, but I was pumped that he got Keller and Beck. So I'm like, yay, Keller and Beck.
Yeah.
Yes, our lightsabers were sticks or umbrellas. Mm-hmm. We also used PVC pipe. That really made my dad mad when we cut it. So don't do that, kids. Anything in the film you thought, what the heck? Yeah, we just kind of talked about that. Yeah. The grappling guns. That's a good. Yeah. Yeah, the CGI on that's not great. The grappling hook guns. So, but I don't know if it bothered me. I really want the Micro Squad. That would be all right. That'd be a nice collection. I do have the Lego with the little weird pod racing things. What else do we got on here? I can see Tarek cosplaying and Gungan. Aren't they like really tall though? I mean,
I think that was a slight jab there too.
Yeah, I got the vibes to play a Gungan, just not the height. All right, so
there's got to be children Gungan.
You could do like people who play Chewbacca and they wear stilts. You could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Even with stilts, I feel like that'd still be kind of small.
So you'd be like equally.
I'd be a normal person's height.
Yeah, there you go. If anyone think you'd add or change Phantom Menace, what would it be? Is there anything you guys would add or change it? Change them? I guess we kind of talked about that a little bit, but Jack's throwing us all kinds of questions here.
I wouldn't change anything. To me, like, it's more about what the movie's not my favorite.
Ooh, I do have something. When you're done, I do have something I wish they would have kept.
But it's more about what Phantom Menace inspired. You know what I mean? It's more about what the prequel trilogy inspired than rather any of the movies in the prequel trilogy for me, you know. And we'll see, maybe as we go along, maybe I'll like some of the other movies a little bit better, but I do like all the things that came out after the Phantom Menace, all the, you know, Clone Wars and led on to, you know, Bad Batch and all those other little things that came out, all the storytelling that's filled in around it. I've enjoyed that, but the movies just didn't hit me like they did, you know, people that are Tiara's age, you know.
All
It's the
right,
same
that's
thing.
fair.
Like you said, she was one when this came out. We were one when the original trilogy came out. It really is about your age and when you get exposed
Hmm.
to this. And, you know, I don't have any hate for it. It's just, it's not for everybody. You know, everybody's
Yeah.
got their own thing.
Tiara has something
But
though.
Tiara had something. Yeah.
It's something really small, but when Anakin is packing to leave, Qui-Gon puts his hand on Shmi's shoulder and like asks her if she's okay, and she doesn't put her hand on his hand, but it's a deleted scene where she does. So I wish they would have
Mm.
kept that in because
That
I
would have
thought it
just
was like
added fuel
a
to the
sweet
fire.
moment.
That might have touched my heart. That could have
Yeah,
been the thing.
that could have been it. Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say you're full of you're full of malarkey, Mike. Um, that would have just added fuel to the fire of her and of Qui-Gon and Shmi getting down.
It was
No,
a
no.
sweet moment. Stop it. Get out of here. The gutter mine.
I'm just saying that's a big conspiracy theory that those two,
I know.
you
I
know,
know.
hopped on the good foot and did the bad thing, as Austin Powers would say. So what have we got? Actually, Mike brings a good point. I don't think we ever
I don't
seen
think
any.
so.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even in
so,
the, like, even when they were in the cities and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there was ever, I mean, I'd have to imagine it was expensive to produce and create all those Gungans. You know what I mean? Like, so it would have been, you know, you needed the soldiers. You probably couldn't spend the money on the children.
Yeah. Jack says I would have changed the fact that Shmi recognizes Qui-Gon and let the rumors go on from there. Oh, so Qui-Gon is Anakin's daddy. All right, that's what Jack wants. That's what Jack wants. All right. Where were we? Well, yeah, we're talking about where it is now, and I don't know. Tiara, did you get to answer that before Jack bombarded our uh, about
How we
how?
feel about the Phantom
Yeah,
Menace?
how? Yeah, I think you were kind
Oh
of
yeah, I
finishing up.
talked about how I rewatched it last year, or not rewatched it. Well, watched it for the first time in the movie theaters and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Yep.
Mike, you have had no change.
I mean, yes, I disliked it a lot more 25 years ago. I don't dislike it as much now. There was definitely, like, on this revisit, like I said earlier, just being able to identify some of those characters and whatnot that become something in the Clone Wars, and that was exciting. And, you know, enjoying the pod race more now, and I don't know, it was better. It's still not a movie that I'm gonna run, you know, what rewatch and rewatch and rewatch, but um, I'm glad I watched it, you know, this week. I'm glad I revisited it, and it's still not my movie, but it's all right.
All right.
Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah. I think I've taken like this massive journey for
Yeah.
myself in this movie, and it's just more about life than it is the movie. I don't think that the hate I had for this film really even directed at the film. It's just kind of like things, and I just remember early on getting back into Star Wars and making a bigger part of my life when I was kind of going. Star Wars has always been there for me, and I've always loved it. Going through the divorce, and as I was kind of leading into it, I really got back into Star Wars because it's something that I loved. It brought me happiness and joy, but I was really, really hateful about the prequels for a long time, even to the point where like one of my coworkers was like, "Dude, like they're not that bad, like chill." And he's not even a big Star Wars guy. Um, and then, of course, listening to the wrong podcast and the wrong people on YouTube, just spreading hate and vile. And then, I found, well, they're not even on there anymore, but like Ken Knapsack and those guys, they were on Collider for a long time. They would talk about the positivity. And then, of course, Force Center podcast, I found them later. The guys at Star Wars Sessions, Matt and Luke, and just found these different people. And I also think like in a better place in my life. So when I went and saw that last year, I'm with my wife, and like I'm almost like moved to tears by like how much I enjoyed this film and the sounds, and like coming out of that theater was nuts, right? I mean, Tiara, you shared that experience. Like seeing it in a theater versus seeing it on a TV screen or even a large, like, you can't, it just isn't the same if you don't hear, like, you feel like those engines are right around your head, or, that music, the Jewel of the Fates is coming for your soul. I feel like I took a big transformation. It's still not, again, not like one of my favorite films. I mean, it's up there. It's coming in the middle somewhere. It just depends on the day for me, but I feel like I took a big changes in my life made me enjoy things better. And I'm thankful for that journey, though, like not being such an ass about it. Like I was kind of a jerk about it. I had like a lot of hate in my heart towards it. And I don't know why. Like I don't understand why I was that way. I'm glad I'm not that way anymore. I try to find. I mean, I remember telling Hank. He was picking on outlaws, and I was like, Hank, life's a lot better if you look for the things that you love about something instead of focusing on the thing. And I was like, oh my god, like that's like, where was that person for me whenever I was bashing? You know what I mean? So it is kind of, I think it means a lot more to me now than it did then. I would say that. I mean, I was like, 25, thought I knew everything, and so I think that now I don't know, it just is a weird, like I was emotionally wrecked after seeing that film for some reason. I was just like, man, that was amazing. And just, I don't know, it was weird. So
I think I cheated myself by not getting myself to a screening last year. Like just what you're saying. I mean, your journey and stuff, that has a lot to do with it. Just your change over time and whatnot, the things that you've been through. But the one thing that I cued on, just the fact of going and seeing that in a theater with a bunch of other people that love Star Wars, like people Tiara's age and younger that grew up with this and just have all this love for it, to be in a packed theater with all those people, and then not to mention having it on the big screen with the great sound and everything like that, just all that positivity. I don't know how you could not come out of that theater and feel much different, a lot different about that movie.
Way different. I mean, because we took Danny with us, and Danny, I mean, I think he's about 27, between 27 and 30, so like he's a prequel kid as well. And I mean, he's loved it, and he was like, oh, this is so great, this is better than when I remember it when I was a kid. And so I mean, that probably added to the experience, just being around that positivity. And that's especially now this day and age, like you got to surround yourself with positive people or you'll go nuts. Okay, we've heard that one. We'll wrap this up here, right? Kind of bounce. Much love to all. God, did I miss Tiara? Sing for the outro. You know what I mean? Oh, he wants you. Will you do that for us? Will you sing the? You won't sing the AP5?
I will not.
And we still have that like recorded.
I know.
It's funny in the sense when Qui-Gon uses the Force on water, saying credits will do fine. Oh yeah, and then Qui-Gon cheats his ass off to get what he wants, so that's a good part too. That's a good mention. But all right, folks, any last words on the Phantom Menace or your feelings your feelings towards it?
No,
not really.
It's great. Tiara loves it. Mike I'm somewhere in the middle, I think, and then Mike's we'll find out exactly where you're at in a couple weeks,
right? When we get to rank them.
Exciting.
So Tiara, before we go, can I, Tiara, next week when we're gonna watch, when I sit down to do my rewatch of Attack of the Clones, some advice. What would you say? What should I look for? What frame of mind should I be in? What would make me enjoy the movie more?
I think what you had mentioned Charlie said is just recognizing that he is a 19-year-old kid with no moves, was raised in the Jedi Temple, and considering, his upbringing as a child, like, all that plays into his character. Also, just think about, like, if you were a kid watching all of the effects that are happening on screen, like, how impactful that would be for you.
Yeah. So try to get myself in a younger frame of mind.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
I'll do my best. Thank you.
Good luck to US Eagles against England and DC. That dub. Thanks, Tahu.
All right.
Have a great day. His day's just starting as ours is winding down. So, Tiara, I want to say thanks again for joining us. I love your positivity. I can't wait to see you in August. I can't wait for your panel. It's going to be awesome. I am going to boo you a little bit though for that mean comment about. I'm just going to shout, "Are you an angel?" from the seat. So, just be prepared for it. You'll hear me before you see me. All right. Because as soon as I see you, I'm just going to scream, "Are you an angel?" You're like, damn it, me.
Get out. Kick him out.
So, all right, folks. Thanks for joining us here on Instagram Live and on YouTube. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week with Attack of the Clones. Come prepared. Mike and I will be. So,
Yep.
and for all of us, we have spoken. See you guys next week.
See ya.